Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about Space Marine 2, the Sniper class. We have gone over the other three classes so far. Sniper, Assault, and Tactical is the only one I haven't done. I'm working my way through. The grinding is a little bit long, but it's not. I'm getting there. I'm getting close. But today I want to talk about our Sniper class. So with the Sniper class, it's Sniper mainly. You can let me go over the weapon real quick. You can either use the Stalker bolt rifle, the bolt sniper rifle, or the bolt carbine, or the last, if I pronounce it correctly, Fusel. So I'm mainly going to talk about the last Fusel. Okay, the last Fusel is really good. It's a single fire energy rifle, and it does not have a magazine. It focuses, just have your whole magazine. It's available to use. You never have to reload. That's why I like it personally. Now I want to go over the ability first, which is the Camo Cloak. It conceals you until your next attack breaks Camo Cloak. You can go invisible, enemy won't attack you, and you can shoot while you're invisible, and then you become visible again. But it's really nice since you only have 2 armor class, you have a long range weapon. If the enemies are swarming you, just go invisible, run away, let your other teammates focus on the small guys, then you go ahead and take your shots on the big guys. Now, a lot of the classes that I'm talking about, especially Sniper, your main focus is the big guys. I wouldn't really worry about the small guys. That's what your bolt pistol is for. But for me personally, I like to use the Sniper, focus on the big guy, but I don't execute them or finish them off. I let my close range character finish them off. That was the biggest things that I really hated when I play against other snipers. With other sniper is that they got them into execute range. I'm up front taking all the damage, and instead of letting me do the execution to get the armor back, they take the kill instead. The sniper take the kills instead, which don't give them armor back. So now I'm in the front line fighting 20-30 homogons, 3 or 4 different Tyranid warrior. They are stealth in the back, wasting an extra round to kill the Tyranid warrior with an execute range. Let your melee do it. Let your front line do it, because they need the extra armor to survive. You don't, because you have Camo Cloak, and the cooldown on the Camo Cloak is really slow. Really fast, sorry. So I'll go over the skill tree first, and then we'll go over the weapon. So first skill I pick is Melee Mastery. Okay, melee damage increased by 10% against Majora's level or in higher enemies. That's your Tyranid warrior or above. Or if you talk about Thousand Sun, it's Thousand Sun's Chaos Space Marines. So your whole kit is to kill big enemies. You're not really worried about the small guys. Let your heavy deal with it. Let your vanguard or frontline deal with them. You focus on the big guys, get them into execute range, and that's it. Next is, with the sniper rifle, you only can carry a certain amount of rounds, and especially on ruthless difficulty, you don't get a lot of ammo. So this high capacity is really good for you to maintain the amount of ammos you have. So I like high capacity, so that I won't run out of ammo as quick. You still run out, but not as quick. Next is lethal efficiencies. Killing more than 1 enemy with 1 shot from a last Fusel restore its charge by 1. So if you use your last Fusel going into a group of enemy, as long as you kill more than 1, which is really easy for you to do, you get an extra round back. So you don't use your bullets when you're killing more than 1 enemy. I really enjoy this, and this is probably the best class perks for Sniper if you're using the last Fusel. Next, pretty straightforward. Your team perks, I put marksmanship. Headshot damage increased by 10% for all squad members. Pretty straightforward. You're aiming for headshot, you're doing headshot damage, increasing more headshot damage, because this is including yourself. So the more headshot damage you have, the faster you can take down the enemy. So this is the no-brainer. The other perks is just not as useful if you're using last Fusel. Weapon spread, don't matter. Headshot kill restore ability charged by 10% for any squad member. It's good, but there's a perks down the road that helps, and you're trying to kill faster. Since you have limited amount of ammo, you need to kill faster than worry about ability recharge for your teammate. Next, we're going with renewal. A headshot kills restore camo cloaks charged by 5%. And this is what I was talking about, so that you can just constantly go in and out of stealth. Go into stealth, shoot, get a headshot, bam, you're already recharging 5%. Get another one, bam, 10%. So you go really fast. And I'll tell you why. Because we're going to go into our next perks, and this is what's important. The first range attack that breaks camo cloak deals 75% more damage. So the whole idea of the class is you go into stealth, take a headshot shot, boom, breaks your camo cloak, which deals 75% more damage. And most of the time on Ruthless difficulties, I have gone where I either right out just kill the Thousand Sun Space Marine or the Tyranid Warrior, or from one single shot out of camo cloak, immediately get them into execute range. So this is a really good perk, and because you recharge it so fast, you can just go cloak, shoot, get another maybe headshot, bam, you're already back to camo cloak, and you can do it again. Go into camo cloak, shoot another Tyranid Warrior, get them in the execute range, do it again. Rinse and repeat. Just keep taking down these majority level enemies down to execute range. Our next perk we're talking about is Lingering Concealment. After performing an attack that breaks camo cloak, you remain hidden for 2 seconds. The other two perks not as useful. When camo cloak deactivate, you take 20% less health damage. It doesn't make sense to me, because when your camo cloak deactivate, that means that they are nowhere near you, or they are very far away from you, or they wouldn't be attacking you at all, because they're not attacking you while you're in camo cloak. So why would you need to take less damage? They wouldn't be attacking you to begin with. The other one, it says when camo cloak deactivate, it startles nearby enemies. They'll temporarily lose control or get knocked back. Cooldown is 30 seconds. The only thing I could think of that these two perks would help would be if you're using the bolt carbine or anything like well, I guess just the bolt carbine, because that's the only weapon that allows you to go close range. So if you want to go with the bolt carbine, maybe pick the ambush perks. Other than that, if you're using sniper, even the stalker bolt rifle, you will not be using ambush. It just doesn't make sense. Because if you have camo cloak on, hopefully you're running away from the group, not getting into the group, you know. So my idea is that performing an attack that breaks camo cloak, you still remain hidden for 2 seconds, so you can still reposition yourself, whatever the case is. The last perk that I picked is Evasion for your signature perk. After a perfectly timed dodge, your camo cloak automatically activates without spending charges for 5 seconds. So, Lictor, Ravager, Thousand Sun Terminators, they all come at you. If you're really good at your perfectly timed dodge, then you get you get a camo cloak ability without spending a charge, and you can reposition, get away from them, or you can stand still and line up a shot at the Lictor or at the Ravager, whatever the case is. But I feel like this is better than the other two. The other two are just not as good, so I personally prefer this one. Alright, now let's go over the equipment. Like I said, last Fuso, your pistol slot and the melee slot, you don't really have a choice, so we'll go over that later. So the reason why I want to go with the last Fuso is because, one, it does a lot of damage. Two, it doesn't have magazine. It has a magazine capacity, but not magazine, so you never have to reload, which is what I like. So let's go over the perks real quick. The first one I pick is increased capacity. Maximum ammo reserved for this weapon increased by 20%. Again, you need a lot of ammo. You run out of ammo really quick. You need to find ways to keep more ammo, regenerate ammo, which goes into the next perk that we're going to be talking about, is the Adamant Restoration. Now, they already fixed this perk. You cannot get infinite ammo anymore, but it is still a way for you to get some ammo in case you ever drop below 30%. And as I said, you only have 2 armor, you drop down to 30% really fast. So this perk is when your health drop below 30%, your ammo reserve is restored by 25% of the maximum capacity. cannot exceed maximum ammo capacity. Cooldown is 30 seconds. So that is really good. You have increased capacity on the weapon perk, and you also have increased capacity on your class perks. So when it does restore ammo, you're restoring more. Now hopefully you never drop below 30%, but if you do, you got some extra ammo to help. Next, since we have to go down this path, I had no choice, but it's not a bad perk either. Amplification radius of beam weapons increased by 10%. Pretty straightforward. You know, if you're shooting into a group of homogons, you know, that will help a little bit, but that's not our focus, is it? Now that's why we go straight up to Headhunter. Headshot damage. Headshot deals 10% more damage. We're all by headshot, doing headshot. Going stealth, do a headshot. So these are all damage stacking on top of each other for us to be able to do massive amount of damage with a single shot, because we need to make every bullet count. Next one, same thing, Headhunter. Headshot deals 10% more damage. Next one is fast regeneration. Killing an enemy restore armor 0.5 seconds earlier. Now, is this a great perk? No. This is a perk that we have to get to go to the next perk? Yes. It's not the greatest perk. Hopefully you should never lose your armor. You need to be really good at parrying, dodging, going stealth, running away from enemy. But, you know, if you really need the extra armor, this will help. Next one is another Headhunter. Headshot deals 10% more damage. So right now, our headshot is dealing 30% more damage, plus your skill get another extra 10%, so that's 40%. Plus, if you go into stealth, you do 75% more damage. So that's 115% more damage from a single shot from a last fusel. So we're already doing massive amount of damage, and hopefully that will take care of a lot of the big guys, Majora's level enemy, and Ruthless. Alright, next is when your health is below 30%, killing 3 enemies or more with one shot restore health by 5%. It's not the best perks, but it helps because you don't really have a lot of ways to regenerate health when you are in Ruthless difficulty. So this is a way for you to restore some health, especially with the last fusel. You don't really spend ammo for killing a group of enemy, and killing 3 enemies with one shot is not that hard with the last fusel because the penetration is really good. You can go through 3 or 4 enemies and you know you can just restore some health. So this is a really good perk. Last one I pick is Perpetual Velocity. Shots charges 15% faster. I really enjoy this perk because with last fusel you have to charge up. So you want it to charge fast. You don't need it to be charged too fast, you know, just fast enough where you can like put a couple more shots down range before you go to the next ammo crate. Because if I didn't go with that one, the next one would have just been damage increased by 10% against Terminus, which is honestly not that useful, or you can get a radius. So I guess personally I like it to charge faster because I want to put shots faster before the Tyranny Warrior either dodge or the Thousand Sun Space Marine teleport. Let me put other shots down before they teleport away or run away. So that's my thought process of why I chose Perpetual Velocity. Next one is the bolt pistol. Let me go back to last fusels real quick. So there's 3 different versions I want to talk about first too. The version that I picked is this one, Alpha. The other version is less damage, more magazine capacity, and the last one is less damage, rate of fire. Now, I don't care about rate of fire. I want accurate, high damage shots. I don't care about magazine capacity because I already have lots of ways to bring back ammo, and hopefully that'll be enough. Even if you give me more shots, it doesn't mean that I can kill faster. It just means that I might have to put more rounds down range. But this one have the highest power out of the 3, and this is 15 compared to the other one is 14. I already have ways to increase my ammo capacity, so I would rather go with the higher power, so I could just use that one single shot to put one single Tyranny Warrior into execute range, so my front line can take care of it while I go to the next one. Alright, so that's the choices. With bolt pistol, there's also 3 versions. One for higher damage, less accuracy. One for higher magazine capacity, less accuracy, and the one with higher accuracy. They're the same damage almost, except this one. But personally, I rather have the higher accuracy. I am a sniper. I stay far away from the front line, so I try to be like, uh, in the back. With higher accuracy, I can stay further back, so I don't have to worry too much about it. Now, I personally, because I'm increasing the accuracy, I decided to go to the bottom tree. I'll go over them real quick, but with all my other classes in all my videos, they're all about the same. I'm doing 10% more damage against Terminus. Now, I remember I'm going down the bottom tree because I want to get to the last burst. So that's the only reason why I picked this one, because you have exactly enough mastery point to go through one skill tree all the way down. So damage increased by 10% against Terminus level. After a perfectly timed dodge, you do 25% more damage for 5 seconds. And then we also have, after a gun strike, recoil is reduced by 35% for 5 seconds. So far, these are not the greatest perks, but it helps. Now, that's when we start to go into the better perks. Divine Might, damage increased by 10%. Why not? You're using your pistol. If you get a headshot on a Homogons, it's one-shot kill. But if you don't, the extra damage is gonna help. Next one is magazine size increased by 15% of the maximum. Better magazine size, more rounds you can shoot down range. I'll go over the top tree later and explain why I choose the bottom one more. Next one is if your health is below 30%, killing 10 enemies in rapid succession restore health by 5%. That is a pretty good choice. I personally enjoy it. It's just like with the sniper, so hopefully I don't have to use as much med kits. I'll rather give my front line the med kits because they take a lot more damage than I do. Most of the time when I play Ruthless, I barely take damage. I always have full armor. If I am ever in trouble, I go stealth, run away, and let my front line take the aggro before I jump back in and just start shooting. Next is another extended magazine. Magazine size increased by 15% of the maximum. So they'll take your magazine capacity from 12 to 16, and your ammo reserve from 120 to 132. So I personally really like this extended magazine. Even in Ruthless difficulty, your pistol, even though it's doing more damage, it's in tier 4, you still take a few rounds to take them down. But yeah, so that's why I wanted the extra magazine. And of course the last one, which is why I picked the bottom tree, is to increase the damage by 10%. Ruthless, you just need more and more and more damage. So that's the only reason why. Now, the other option is if you go to the top tree, I'm going to talk about the important ones, and then you can go from there. Maximum spread decrease. This one also decrease maximum spread if you do perfectly timed dodge. The next one that's important is another maximum spread decrease, and then you got headshot damage. After killing a Majora's, that's not that important, and then another headshot damage. So you got 2 of them, and also maximum spread decrease. So what I'm seeing on the top row is more for accurate pistol shot. More accuracy, more higher headshot damage. It's not a bad choice, but personally, if I'm pulling my pistol out, I'm not trying to be precise. I'm probably using it to shoot all the Homogons all surrounding me, and I'm just shooting them. Hopefully they get off my back. Hopefully I recharges my camo cloak faster so that I can run away. My purpose is not to use the pistol to do a lot of killing. Accurate shot. If I'm trying to use accurate shot, I will take out my last fusel, especially with the last fusel able to restore ammo. So that's kind of like why I picked the bottom tree. But if you were to, the only thing I could think of, if you were to pick like this one, the beta bolt pistol, and now you don't have the accuracy, then you can go onto the top tree and put a lot of the points into the spread so you still have that accuracy. Or if you're the type of person that wants to use the bolt pistol for more accurate headshot shot, you can go to the top tree too. But I'm over here trying to kill a bunch of swarms. I'm not trying to like, let me get my perfect aim on my pistol on the head. No. I want to have fun. I want to go in there and just blast bullets into a group of Homogons and be done with it. Alright, last weapon is your combat knife, your melee weapon. Now, You also have three different ones: Alpha, Beta, and this one, Blood of Vosis. So, first of all, out of these three knives, there's only two choices. So I'll let you guys decide. Block, throw away the block knife. I still don't understand why the game make the block knife, but do not use block. You cannot parry, you cannot deflect any strike. Block is just blocking, and you still take the damage. Sometimes depends on how good you are at blocking or completely blocking the damage. But block is just not that great. You get staggered when you're blocking. You don't get to retaliate with a gun strike. Blocking is just a bad choice overall. So let's go over the top two. One is balance. You have balance, you have less speed, and let's see, faster speed and lower damage, and it's balance. If you're really good at parrying, you're welcome to use this one. Alright, it's not a bad choice. Personally, I would rather have the higher damage, which is the fencing version of it, but I have lower speed. But here's the thing, this low speed for a knife is still a really fast speed. The only thing that I don't think a lot of people understand is that these stats are only pertain to this weapon. So if you talk about like a Thunder Hammer with a strength 9, speed 4, cleaving potential 2, fencing, that's a whole different stats. They are not related to each other. So a Thunder Hammer strength 9 is possibly doing more damage than a combat knife with strength 9. So that's where we have to figure that out first, is to clarify that. So combat knife strength 9 and speed 4, even though it's lower speed, you still swing pretty fast because it's a knife. But I personally like fencing because I can block a lot of hit. I can do a lot of Tyranid Warrior if I really have to, and I really like that. So let's go over the tree real quick. So mainly I'm focusing on doing damage, right? That's all it's about for Ruthless level, is to do as much damage as you can in a very short period of time, because these enemies have a lot of health and they're swarming you with like 5 Tyranid Warrior. They're not just swarming you with 1, they're swarming you with 2. They take forever to kill, so the more damage you do, the faster you can move on to the next enemies so you don't get swarmed. Okay, so first, melee damage increased by 5%, perpetual strength, pretty straightforward, doing more damage as I said before. Next one is each consecutive heavy attack increase heavy attack melee damage by 3%, up to 30% for 3 seconds. I like this one a lot. Most of the other weapon heavy attack is very slow, but with the combat knife you're doing it very fast, and you have a bigger cleave. So I personally like it. So I do a lot of heavy attack on these Tyranid Warrior to also take out the Humagons around me. At the same time, so I really like this perks. Next, pretty straightforward, perpetual strength, melee damage increased by 5%. So far we have increased melee damage by 10%. Then we go up for 1 point, is melee damage increased by 5%. So now we're melee increased by 15%. Then next we're gonna move on to this one. I personally like the shoulder bash. It looks really cool. It's pretty badass. So replaces distance stab with shoulder bash while evading or sprinting. So when you're sprinting, you do that spring attack, it turns into a shoulder bash, and it's really badass looking. And you basically, from what I'm understanding, you're doing two separate hits, so it does pretty good damage. Tap the attack button quickly to perform an area of effect forward attack. That's what it does. So I really enjoy this. I've used it to stagger a lot of Tyranid Warrior when they're trying to call their allies, call a swarm on us, or have to just stagger enemies when they're about to attack me. So I personally enjoy this. Next, I don't really have a choice on this. You either pick Tyranid Slayer or Chaos Slayer. So if you play Chaos more, I guess you can go up there, but since I'm trying to go down the bottom tree, I have to pick Tyranid enemies, which is not a bad choice either if you're trying to focus on playing against Tyranid. So this one is not really like a, oh, you have to pick this one per se. You just have to because you're going down the bottom tree, and I'll explain a little bit why. Next one is each enemy hit by Whirlwind Slash deal 30% less damage for 4 seconds. The Whirlwind Slash is 3 light attack, and in the 4th attack you hold. That's when you do the Whirlwind Slash. It's with your knife you spin around. I like it a lot because if they do less damage to me, I have low armor, I can take care of some Tyranid warrior before they can take me down. So I really enjoy this a lot. It really helps for low armor classes, and this will definitely help you in a lot of ways to stop them from attacking you, doing as much damage. Next is this is the one I really wanted. It's Extremist Slayer. Melee attack against Extremist Slayer. Extremist level enemy increased by 15%. This is your Terminator, your Zone Throw, Carnifex. What else? I think that's pretty much it. So I like these perks a lot because a lot of the time you either waste all of your bullets on these Zone Throat or Terminator, or you just use your knife and try to take them down. They are tanky, you can take a lot of shots, you don't want to waste all your sniper shots on an enemy, on one single enemy, and now you have no ammo to take care of the rest of the Tyranid warriors. So I prefer this one, so I can use my knife a little bit more against these enemies. The other one up north is Terminus. Terminus is like your Hive Tyrant, so I don't know why I'm not gonna be fighting a Hive Tyrant in every single operation. So I'd rather go with the Extremist, alright? Oh, Hellbrute works too. Hellbrute is also considered Extremist, if I'm correct. But yeah, Terminus is only really for your Hive Tyrant, so unless you're going against Hive Tyrant all the time, I'll go with the Extremist. But yeah, so that's our perks. That's our perks for our knife. That's the build. Sniper class is it's really fun. You can help taking down a lot of these big enemies. So don't worry about the small enemies. If you can, focus on the big one, and most importantly, do not finish them off with your extra rounds the last few. Let your melee frontline class take care of them. Let them regain their armor if they need to keep fighting in the front line with their melee. Don't worry about the small guys, and hopefully you can take care of the big guys so that you'll have an easier time, and especially against Tyranid too. When you take out the big guys, all the homogons kind of like turn into disarray, so that they just get staggered and don't attack. So that's what you're here for, is to take them to execute range and let the front line take care of it. But anyways guys, this is my guide for the sniper. I really enjoyed this class. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.